Guys, there is a new way to make any build that you make in the game a replica build. You can choose any name that you want, guys. Any player that is in the game that has a replica build name. If you like the name, you can make your very own build and have it be called that. If you have a build that is like a literal ISO god and not like Chris Paul or anything like that, but you want the point guard name, you can get exactly that. How are you guys going to be able to do that? I'm going to show you right here, right now. But anyway, the build that we are going to be using for this example is going to be my two-way inside-out scorer. I'll show you guys the stats real quick on this two-way inside-out scorer. Small forward, right-handed, jersey number 00, 6'8", 208 weight, and our wingspan is 7'6", so the max wingspan. And these are the stats. Pretty good stats, a mainly defensive oriented small forward that is able to play the 3, able to play the 4, and is just an all-around just good player. I mean, you're not going to be the best ball handler in the world with only a 77 ball handling, but we got that 77 so we can get that clamp breaker on silver, so we can get some drives off and be able to get some contact dunks. But this build all around is just really, really good. I mean, it's just a defensive minded player that's able to be an aggressive scorer on the inside with the contact dunks, but also able to stretch the floor out for you and your team, while also just maintaining dominance on the floor from the defensive end. That's just pretty much my whole idea behind this build. I wanted to make a defensive oriented small forward that was able to shoot the 3 ball, stretch the floor out for the team, also drive in, while not being too much of a nuisance on playmaking, but able to get enough for us to be able to do what we need. But we're mainly focusing on being able to get that defense for the team. But of course, this is the build that we are using, and as you have seen, it is indeed called a two-way inside-out scorer. Now, the build name that I really, really want on this character is the Blade, which is Alex English. So what you guys are going to be doing is you're going to go into features and you're going to create a player. Now you're going to go into NBA and then you're going to add new player. Now what you're going to do is in your vitals, you're going to, like, the name doesn't really matter, nickname doesn't matter. What does matter is that you make a new player and then you change at least the primary position to what your build actually is. So if your build is a shooting guard, make your position a shooting guard. Secondary position doesn't really matter. Nothing else really matters here besides your position, your jersey number, and your dominant hand. So making sure that your dominant hand and your dominant dunk hand are both the same, because when you change your handedness to left, obviously your dominant hand regardless is going to be left anyway. So with that being said, change your jersey number, dominant hand. If you need it left-handed or right-handed specifically, make sure it's set to that. And your position is set to what your build is made on. Everything else doesn't really matter because all these are just for, AI play and stuff like that. Next thing you're going to do is you're not really going to touch the appearance really too much at all, but you're also going to go into body. You're going to change your weight, which for me is 6'8", and then, or your height is going to be 6'8", and then your weight is going to be whatever your weight is. So we are 6'8", 208 pounds, and now we have to change the wingspan. Now this is the thing that killed a lot of people, is the wingspan. So what you are going to be doing, and I will tell you guys exactly what you need to do. So, and I will also leave a link down in the description below to the Reddit post that posted about this. But there is a little chart that you have to use. So what you need to do is, before you go into this, is count how many options there are for your wingspan. So if you have 9 options, there's going to be 9 different stats to use on the slider. 10 options, there's going to be 10 different stats. 11, there's going to be 11. But of course, when you have 11, it's easy to determine the stat. So for me, on this 6'8" build, I have 11 options. So when you go down to 0, your wingspan is going to be 6'8". And then every 10 stats, like, so if you increase this every 10, is going to be an extra inch. So this is roughly around 6'9". This is roughly around 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot, 7'1", 7'2", 7'3", 7'4", 7'5", and then at 100 is 7'6". This will be practically our default wingspan that we have for having max wingspan. So a 7'6" wingspan on a 6'8" player. And then the shoulder width, we're just gonna set it at 50 just for default, yada yada yada. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into your attributes, and then you're gonna change all your attributes to what your player actually is. Now, the only stats that you will have to worry about, literally the only stats that you have to worry about, is the stats that are in the Mycareer builder. So literally your close shot, driving layup, driving dunk, standing dunk, and post control. So you don't really need to worry about post fade or post hook at all. You don't really need to worry about draw foul or anything. Just worry about the stats that you are able to control and able to increase in the Mycareer builder. So then you also have your mid-range, three-pointer, and free throw. You have pass accuracy, ball handling, speed with ball, and obviously for defense, you have your interior defense, perimeter defense, steal, block, offensive rebound, and defensive rebound. Although your offensive rebound will be here in your offensive settings. Everything else is going to be here. Practically, you have your defensive rebound, your block rating, your steal, perimeter defense, and interior defense. So you have everything else here. So like I said, your interior, perimeter, steal, block, defensive rebound. The only thing that isn't here is your offensive rebound. It's in your offensive settings. So with that being said, you also have your athleticism, which you have your speed with ball here. So your playmaking, your speed with ball is going to be here, while everything else, your pass accuracy and your ball handling, is going to be on the offensive settings. So here, go into your athleticism. You don't really need to touch hustle unless you want to touch it for some reason. You don't have to. The only thing that really matters is what your attributes are in the Mycareer builder. So literally, you don't really need to touch lateral quickness, because obviously in the actual Mycareer mode, it scales with whatever your stats are on there, so it doesn't really matter. And then your hustle doesn't really matter as well, because it just scales like in the game, just default stuff. And then your durability doesn't really matter too much as well, because obviously you can't really control these. In your mentality, you can't really control this either, so obviously that is a no-go. Potential and intangibles also is another thing that doesn't really matter. So once you change all of those, I obviously already did this, so I'm not going to do all of that. But once you do all of that and you have your attributes set, you don't need tendencies, hot zones, signatures, badges. You don't really need to do anything besides making sure, like before you do this, that your jersey number, for the sake of this, I'm actually just going to set it to 00, because that's what my player uses, right-handed or left-handed. So change it to where your position, your main position for this player, is the exact same as your position that you're making. Secondary position doesn't matter. Making sure your jersey number is the same, or whatever you want to use it on. But obviously make it to where you can either make it to where it matches the player that you are wanting to replicate, or make it to where it is a number that you know isn't retired, that you can actually use. But then also make it to where your dominant hand and dunk hand are both the same exact dominant hand that you prefer to use as well. Then obviously your body, make sure that you understand the wingspan, in which I will tell you guys the chart numbers for everything else, because obviously it's a little bit different. So for a build that only has 9 options, you're gonna go 0 for your first, for your default height, wingspan, whatever. So then for the second second one up, you have 12, 25, 38, 50, 62, 75, 88, and then 100. Those will be your like all your options. When you only have 9 options, when you have 10 options, you practically go up by almost 11 every time. So in this case, you know, you start at 0 for the basic like the smallest wingspan that's possible. Then you go 11, 22, 33, 44, and then instead of going 55, you go 56, 67, 78, 89, and then 100. And then obviously with the 11 options, you just go up by 10s depending on the option that you're on. So obviously if you have like a 6, so you have a 6'10" wingspan with your and you have like 11 options. So if you're at 6'10", that would technically be your third option, because your first will be 6'8", that'll be 0. 6'9" would be 10, and then 6'10" would actually be 20. So you'd have to set your wingspan slider to 20. But once everything is practically done, you just export the player the player DNA, just save it, name it whatever you want. I just saved mine under the replica build name. Then you would hit complete and get on out of here. Now what you are going to do is you're also going to create a roster, a modern roster, official 2K Sports roster. And then once that is all said and done, you're going to go to the player. Now for me, obviously, like I said, I'm going to be using Alex English for the blade. I'm going to go all the way over to Denver all time. And then we're going to go to Alex English. We're going to click A on him, edit player. And then we're going to import player DNA, load/download. And then as you can see, these are all my attempts. The one that actually works is Blade 2. That's the one that I have. Obviously, I'm just going to delete these two. But this is the one that works. You want to import both appearance and attributes. As you can see, it says Alan Knox small forward, because that's, you know, the default name that it shows for that one. We're going to import that. It'll change Alex English into this player, this generated player that we have that has everything that we need. Just to show you guys, small forward, power forward, jersey number 00, dominant right hand. And just to show you guys, we are 6'8", 208 pounds. And then attributes are pretty much exactly how they should be. And then also once you're completed, you just keep changes and return. And then you'll just back out and save the roster. But since I've already done that, I'm just going to go ahead and exit out. So what you're going to do after that is you're going to go into play now. After you save that, you're going to go into blacktop. You can do 1v1, doesn't really matter. Then you're going to go to user created roster, and you press on the left stick, change your roster to your custom one. I have Blade Replica right here. So I'm going to choose that one. And then you're going to back out. Once you select it and it takes you back to the team selection screen, you just back out, go to Mycareer, and then you're going to remake the build. And I'm going to show you guys that it does exactly work. So we're going to make the build. I'm going to make it just very, very quickly here. So we're just not messing around with anything. 6'8", 208 pounds, max wingspan. And I'm literally just going to make this real quick because obviously I remember the stats by heart, just from this build being really good and the amount of times I've made a video on this build, or at least attempted to make a video on this build, with it really not working out, and also trying to make this video really helps. But we got this. Alright, so we made the build exact same stats as I showed you earlier. And then we make the build, and this is what will happen. Bang, Gerald Wallace, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and then right here it says, bang, replica, shades of Alan Knox in the 2023 draft, because that's when he's supposed to be drafted, but it is replica of the Blade. So there you guys have it. So literally this build is not even close to being a replica of Alex English, but obviously it's very cool to have like a build name of the Blade. You guys can even do this, like if you have a really good defensive player, you could even do this for the Claw even as well. So you can go in there on Kawhi Leonard and do it as well and get the Claw. If you have like a really, like if you have a build that has 99 steal rating and good defense all around and it's a player like this, I might even do this as well. But obviously this is a really cool thing that is a kind of a glitch, but obviously it's just messing around with how the game works with the coding in it and everything, because it's saying, hey, this player has a replica build, so if they make their build exactly like this, the game code will recognize, oh, this player is a replica of this player that is in the roster. So obviously once you change the roster and everything, you'll be able to get the build name, because the code recognizes, oh, this player here has the same exact stats, this is their name, they have a replica name, this is their name, so they just give it to your player, but you have to make sure you have the same exact wingspan. So that's going to be it for me, guys. This is just proof that you can exactly do this. Alan Knox, whoever the hell that is, that random generated guy, he's also awesome because he's got the nickname of the Blade. Thank you guys so much for stopping by this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment your feedback in the comment section below. And yeah, if you guys want some more build videos or maybe some more tips and tricks, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also hit that bell notification icon. You'll never miss another upload. Trust me, I would know. That's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one.
Start tripping, now I'm blue. Mega man, I can't wait for losing, cause I got too many haters, man. Used to be the paper boy, grew up now I'm Mega man.